He's deep cover. Last I heard, he's tracking the syndicate.
Yeah, last I heard he was 3 over par.
Last I heard, it sounded like someone torturing kittens.
Last I heard, my gym makes money.
I heard 5.
You heard wrong.
You heard him. Those were his last words.
Last I'd heard, he'd been defeated again.
Last I heard, Joe coaches women's wrestling.
POTUS is awake?
Yeah, last I heard.
I heard that.
Last I heard he lived around here somewhere.
Last time that I'd heard, you had
listened to us, and we are wrapping up week 1, looking into week 2. I'm Lee Dempsey alongside Josh Winch, as we are 2/3 of the Gridiron Gang here, missing our partner in crime, Travis Rankins. He's got some bowling to do today. We had to do a last-second reschedule due to some work conflict that I had. So thank you, Winch, very much for adjusting your schedule. I appreciate it. I was going to have to do this alone if you weren't going to be able to do it, because I was like, I don't think I'm going to try to not miss a single week this year. That's my goal, is to not miss 1 week. But yeah, let's get into some news of the NFL right away.
News flash, asshole!
Yes, that's right. We got some news. George Kittle of the 49ers goes on IR. Brock Purdy is expected to miss a couple of weeks. News that Josh had just dropped to me, as well as Quinshon Judkins signed his rookie deal. So it looks like he will hit the field at some point this year. He said practice is on the itinerary, hoping he would get in there today, but it didn't look like that happened. So, Winch, what are your thoughts coming out of week 1 of the NFL?
Wild week 1, that's for sure. They always are. You never know. There's always a lot of talk over the off season, but we'll get into the game-by-game analysis. But some really fun games, too. We'll get into your Vikings game and the Bills game, but Eagles kicked off the season with a bang. Not very often you see a player get ejected and a player get injured before the first snap of the season even happens. So that's kind of how the weekend went. It was a fun weekend of football, and just great to be back. Great to have some football games that were entertaining, some teams that you didn't expect to play as well that did, and vice versa. So love the NFL, man. I'm just happy to have it back. And sucks for the 49ers. Last year they struggled with injuries, and starting the season kind of the same way. So hopefully those guys can get healthy and help the team get competitive.
Yeah, definitely to your point, where it's like we definitely saw some guys out there, some teams out there that didn't expect to kind of show up. Some of them also, didn't show up that you expected. I think a lot of people expected more out of the Bears, for one of them, to start off that game so well and so poorly for them. Probably a massive disappointment for all Chicago fans once again to start a season 0-1. But
yeah, let's get into that. Tell me your take there. What were the emotions on Monday night for you?
Emotions were real down in the dumps for first 3 quarters of that game. My girlfriend Taylor, she went to bed with me cranky and angry, and I but I didn't turn off the TV. I sat there and watched it. I knew there was a chance that something could happen. I didn't think we'd win, but I wanted to see him at least get a touchdown. And I remember at halftime, my dad had messaged me and said, it's going to be a long season with McCarthy. And then like 5 minutes later, he was like, bring in Max Brosmer. And I was like, no. I was like, you need to wait. All right, relax. Let this kid do something, because the beginning of that game, a lot of people were like, I had to sound off on Twitter after the game and I'm usually not a person that does the response, like clap back at people kind of thing. Yeah. But I thought that one was very deserving because of the amount of people that really called his career over by halftime already. Like, I thought it was just wild. Like Richard Sherman being one of them too, where I was like, you're a professional athlete. And it's like, this guy hasn't played football in years, technically, since like real competitive football since the national championship. Mm-hmm. However, he is the victor and hasn't lost a regular season game in over like 2,000 days. So this guy's a dog, and we all saw it. But yeah, that first half was ugly. but I think there was a lot more factors in it than just J.J. McCarthy. One,
Yep.
I think the play calling wasn't great. Their receivers weren't getting open. Two, you saw the absence of Christian Darrisaw, which is their best offensive lineman, was out that game. You saw his replacement come in and just was abysmal. Two, I think you really saw Jordan Addison's absence as well, where it's like you don't have that number 2 guy that really was going to help get open opportunities there.
Yep.
Like Adam Thielen had 2 targets that whole game. Jalen Naylor came in right before half and got that long ball, which was awesome, like that. But for the most part, it was just nothing was going. Aaron Jones was the primary. He was running back 1 and getting nowhere, doing nothing. But as soon as they started giving Jordan Mason the more carries, that's when we started to kind of see it going, because he was getting first downs left and right once he started really taking over. So I thought the number one thing I could take out of that is Kevin O'Connell is going to make halftime adjustments that fit that team to the way that they should. And granted, it still wasn't, third quarter and everything was clicking, but it was getting better. We were definitely getting better and better. Defense played out of their mind for a while, keeping us in that game. One massive thing I would take away as a Bears fan, if the penalties that they had for that offensive line was just insane. For just coming back, false starts, holding. That was nuts. I was that's what really kept, I think, the Vikings in that game. Otherwise, I don't think it would have been reachable at some point. But it was a whirlwind nonetheless. And to even just get on the positive side of things, seeing J.J. McCarthy throw a pick 6 and then shortly after throw a great pass to Justin Jefferson, and then after that throwing an awesome pass to Aaron Jones, which I thought couldn't really be in a better spot, because if he tries any later or any further, he's going to overthrow him, not going to have that space. If he underthrows it, it's probably a pick. Put it right where it needed to be for Aaron Jones so he could turn around, grab the ball, secure it, and basically just fall backwards in the end zone. And then the scramble happened, and that was whoa! Jaw was on the ground to see him run. And that was a lot of talk in the offseason too, where he's I do have that ability to run. That is something that I can do. And to see him do that, I haven't seen a Vikings quarterback do that in forever. I remember when Kirk Cousins rolled out one time for a run, and he looks like he was running in mud. If it was no reason to look that slow. But when I saw JJ take off, I was that's almost a no doubt touchdown right there. Hockenson just need to hold that block as long as he can, and he did, and it worked out. And it was, I don't know, everything clicked in that final quarter. Granted, the Vikings gave up a late touchdown from Caleb Williams, and that was kind of scary because it was still then a 3-point game. But poor clock management by Ben Johnson, I thought, not kicking the kickoff out of bounds, I thought was a terrible strategy. He wasted a timeout on a terrible challenge when you knock that ball out of Hawkinson's hands when he has his knee on the ground. It's that doesn't matter. And the amount of people that even question that, I thought was weird. Of course you can't just knock the ball out when somebody's already technically down, even if it is all ball kind of thing. It's just, they become part of the player at that point. So I don't know. It was a whirlwind of emotions for sure in that game. But nonetheless, it was great to see the start of something that I've been waiting for a long ass time, 502 days, I think it was. I'm just, I'm God.
That's a fun win. It was cool. The afterwards, the speech that Kevin gave, and handing the ball to JJ and him rallying the guys at the end, I thought that was really cool. So, fun win. Had you sweating for sure. But she showed what he's capable of. I actually heard, I'm not a huge Colin Cowherd guy, but I heard him talking today about his comp for J.J. McCarthy. And I was, after he said this, I'm I agree with him quite a lot on this. He said Baker Mayfield.
Okay.
Because of the passion he plays with. He's but he's a gunslinger. He makes one bad play, it's not gonna bother him. He's just gonna let it rip. Make the decision he thinks is the best decision. He's a winner, everywhere he went, he won. So I thought that was kind of size-wise, athleticism. They're both willing to put their head down, dive for an extra yard. So I thought that was a pretty good comp. And if he can be Baker for the next decade plus in Minnesota, it gives him a damn good chance to win a lot of games. So that was fun, man. I'm happy for him. I like the guy a lot, and just appreciate the passion he plays with. I think they needed that in Minnesota.
100%.
So I think great fit for them.
Yep.
Fun come from behind win, and obviously a great start to the season. We both predicted that one. So the Bears still suck.
Yes, they do. The death taxes and the Bears sucking is just a guarantee. Man. Back to what you said though about him just being a competitor and like that dog. Like he's a big quote guy. Like where you can just pull quotes out of stuff he says. And between the beginning of that game, I can't remember exactly, or it was like, the one that you sent me to, where it's like I'm going to war, like that. He says that, and then when he throws that pick six and they're down by 2, they're down by 11. He apparently on the bench. This is Aaron Jones said this. He said he turned over them, looked at him, and said like, "Where else would you rather be right now?" Like he just knows the opportunity is there. And you need to seize the opportunity. Like this is it. This is, like you don't just put your head down and accept defeat when there's time to come back and get the job done. So I think he's as corny as some of those quotes can be at times. I think he said the right things at the right time, and I think that's a big thing why his team gets behind him and supports him. Like when you saw that first touchdown, that sideline went fucking crazy, and it was super exciting to see them all support him. Like they've been talking him up all off season, but you want to see it. You want to see the results, not just hear about it. So I was ecstatic. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe we won that game. Like it was just, I don't know. I was definitely jumping for joy, and then on Twitter right at I couldn't sleep right away, so I was like just on Twitter laughing back at people, and there's Brandon Walker of Barstool Sports has hated on JJ forever, and I had a tweet at him. Jack Mack of Barstool Sports is like pro JJ McCarthy, so it was just fun to see kind of their mindset throughout that whole part of that game, just them tweeting about it. It's like, oh my gosh, I just want everything positive that people say about him to be true. And I think that comeback, that tenacity, that mindset speaks volumes for this.
That's
team.
what you want. I mean, you can do all the draft analysis you want. That's what the hardest thing to find about a quarterback is that they have that short mindset, the competitive spirit, the galvanizing factor, knows the playbook well, can make reads. And I saw a lot of that. Obviously, he's a rookie in game one and made a lot of mistakes in the first half, but he learned quick.
Yes. Yep.
And ultimately got the win. That's the most important thing. And so you got to be feeling good walking out of week one. And like you said, Mason might be their guy going forward too. So we'll be interested to see how that plays out the next couple weeks.
Right. Yeah. I think one last comment on it. I think exactly what you said. I think Mason will be the number one. He's an overall back kind of thing that you're looking for, where it's like enough muscle to it, and his breakdown, his patience, he does have speed to him. Like he had a 19-yard carry late in that game where it was like 2 cuts and he was downfield and basically put his head into the safety. And I was like, that's what we need. And unfortunately, Aaron Jones isn't that guy. He's right. I feel like he's more of a receiving back now. At least that's how the Vikings have used him since he's been there. So to see almost like that Dalvin Cook that we once had, where it was like this guy can muscle through somebody. It was cool to get back to that style of running back for sure.
Yeah.
What other games would you like to touch on? Otherwise, we can go to best and worst if that takes us into those too.
I would say, this will take us into best and worst, so I'll skip that. I don't have the Packers on my best or worst, so I feel like
don't either. So
they're owed some kudos here, even though Travis isn't on the podcast tonight. Sure. That was a great performance by them. I expected them to win. I picked that, but I didn't expect them to be as dominant as they were. They flat out kicked Detroit's ass on both sides of the ball. You got to be excited if you're a Packers fan after week one. There wasn't much in that game that you can really point to where they need to improve. Obviously, I do think a part of that is Detroit. They will get better. Their offensive and defensive coordinator, obviously departing, did not help, but they looked lost at times on offense specifically. It's cool Micah Parsons got that sack. Man, he looked like he got shot out of a cannon. And the crowd reaction, LaFleur said that's the loudest he ever heard Lambeau. So they're bought in. They're excited after week one. Team played really well. Golden played well. Tucker Kraft, I thought, had a really good game. So it's fun to see them. Happy for Travis, and get the chance to see him tomorrow night live. So hopefully Washington can make him go home a little bit sadder, but let's see if they can pull up the dub at home.
Yeah, 100% agree. 100% agree. The Micah Parsons did exactly what he needed to do there. You know, what everyone was expecting. And to get that result in night one kind of thing was something that it's just reassuring. There wasn't a question mark to it where like, could we regret this kind of thing? No, he was a disruptor on the field, got that sack where, like you said, the crowd just erupted, got that basically ovation for it. So that team looked nasty. And like, granted, like you said, Lions lost those coordinators. They also lost 2 offensive linemen in the offseason, one out of retirement and one was it free agency left. So I do think that was an obvious something that we saw in that game, very apparent, where it was just they were getting diced up on that offensive line. So I want to take everything within week one with a grain of salt, we
it's
talk
easy to overreact.
Exactly. Like, people always talk about overreaction Monday, but I mean, it's week one is one of the biggest overreactions where people think they're winning the Super Bowl or they're losing the they're not, not even going to make the playoffs kind of thing. That's one of them where it was like, it might be just getting the rust off kind of thing and just slowly getting into a newer system, blah, 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 blah kind of thing. But to your point, Green Bay played out. I mean, they showed up and showed out. So it's definitely dominant fashion, and they're one of those teams that will carry on. They're one that usually gets a good start. They're not, necessarily slow starters like the Bengals or 49ers when they're beat up kind of thing. But I do believe that, and this was something I was trying to say in the chat on Friday night when it was Chargers Chiefs, and I think Travis misunderstood me. I tweeted or I messaged the chat saying like, this is terrible. It's terrible football. Like, everything was just looking bad, especially for the Chiefs. I was just saying, like, basically to his MO of last year,
preseason
talking about this preseason football that we're getting in the regular season, just playing out bad football, and that's what the Chiefs did. Chiefs looked terrible, I thought, for 3/4 of that game. Like, they oddly enough, one of the things that Brandon Walker said about JJ McCarthy, it was like he was very Mahomes-esque. The Vikings game where he could just fuck around for 3/4 and then when he needs to win the game, he's going to win the game kind of thing. And I'm like, yeah, that's very much a Mahomes thing, especially in the last couple of years when their offense has not been what they once was, how explosive and dominant they were. So that's one of those where I also take it with a grain of salt. It's like they could easily bounce back, but that was another one too. Chargers look really good. I mean,
very impressive.
You had Quentin Johnston, who people kind of wrote off and thought this guy's a bum, probably won't be anything on this team. Granted, Ladd McConkey was out there, Keenan Allen was out there. Like, their receiving core is better, but Quentin Johnston looked like a damn good receiver. So his stock went up. I know I think he was trending on Sleeper for how much his stock went up. Like, people were like, "Oh yeah, he's number one." So I think that speaks volume, especially for that team to get an early win. I feel like a lot of times too, they're one of those that gets a slow start and bites them in the ass when it comes to the playoff hunt. But hopefully we see them in there this year and they do something, some damage.
Yeah. I saw something on Twitter. It's like, all these kids in Brazil are going to grow up thinking Quentin Johnston is the best receiver in the NFL history. And I was like, that's funny as hell, but awesome. Probably true. One game they're going to see in their life, probably. So
yeah, right. That's awesome.
Two other things I want to hit on before we get in best and worst.
Yeah.
So Cam Ward had his first NFL game this weekend. Wanted to hit on it. A lot of people commenting on his film on Twitter as well. He had, I think he went, I forget his stat line, so I'm not even going to try. But in that game, he had 8 drops from his receivers. 3 on the final drive to try and tie the game. They were down 20-12, driving. If you can see Cam Ward's dad's reaction on one of them, he literally goes over and bends over the railing.
He looked like he was going to be sick, for sure.
Yeah.
He looked like he was going to barf out of...
But, I mean, his throws in that game and his pocket awareness, it looked just like Miami. It's like, damn, if you can do that at this level in week 1
early
against a Denver defense, like, it's scary if he gets some players that can catch the ball.
Right.
So I'm happy for him. I thought he played a very good game in his first game. Obviously, I'm disappointed he lost, and his team's performance around him I certainly think can be better. So hopefully they can turn that around. But excited for Cam and his talent that he displayed in week 1. Second thing I wanted to hit on was the let me get to it here. Stats.
I guess before you move on, I would like to going back to Ward. One thing, as you mentioned it, I thought about it. For how many times we see like a rookie quarterback on that rookie deal, obviously, and they seem to have success, but they're usually like not enough to do anything that season, you know, and they go into the offseason and then they might draft like a first round wide receiver or make a big trade or something, or sign a big free agent wide receiver that's out there. And then the following season, they don't quite have that magic like they did the year before, you know, like the Stroud, like we've seen, you know, he hasn't had the same. Do you think it would be worth anything for the Titans to kind of, I mean, too early now, I would say, but maybe let's say if they're in a good hunt towards the trade deadline to maybe make a move for a wide receiver that's, you know, on a end, you know, final year of their deal or something.
I think like a Tyreek Hill or something make a lot of sense. Cam loves to push the ball down the field. So, yeah, I certainly think there's options to explore league-wide for them. They have a talented group. I shouldn't say talented. They have a much better receiving core than last year. Let's put it that way. Yeah. A lot of young talent on that receiving group, but they're not experienced. And unfortunately, Calvin Ridley led the team in drops. So, I mean, if your veterans leading the team in drops, it's not a good sign.
Right.
But speaking of drops, the second one I want to hit on was Dallas and Eagles. So I just want to give kudos. I always shit on the Cowboys, but I was pretty damn impressed with that performance from them. They should have won that game. I'm just going to say that. They had every opportunity. CeeDee Lamb couldn't catch a cold in winter on that final drive. So that's disappointing because I also have them in fantasy, but disappointed for them to not get that W when I thought they just played really well. So I was excited for them in that opportunity. Without Jalen Hurts being Superman, they definitely win, or if they could catch a ball. But that was kind of a fun way to start the season. A lot of highs and lows in that game too. Yeah, absolutely.
They're the disappointment of CD's drops throughout that whole game because we just want to see the best game possible. To see, you know, missed yards, missed points left on the field there, that sucks. Where it's you not, especially if you could have disappointed the Super Bowl champions right away. Yeah, that's always that. I think that's just fun for everybody in the league. Usually, people don't want to see the people who just won the Super Bowl to be successful right off the bat and do the same thing, except for their own team, you know, their own fans. So, yeah, that was definitely a sad point to see CD just kind of have it right out of his hands, you know, or a drop or whatever, you know. One of them wasn't an exactly perfect throw by Dak, but it was pretty impressive considering what was right in front of his face. Yeah, so like, and definitely to see Dak kind of bounce back from last year, because what was it, 2 years ago he played phenomenal, he played great. So everyone was like, what the MVP? We're like, what the hell happened last year? You know, nothing was clicking. But I know he had some injuries, wide receivers, there were some injuries there, and that team was just kind of lackluster overall. But maybe they can make up some ground this year, you know, and that maybe that Micah Parsons trade doesn't bite them totally in the ass, but you watch, it'll be in the playoffs and a close game, and you're like, oh, could you imagine if they had Micah Parsons? What would have happened in that game? And then, so it's a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas, but yeah, at the end of the day, it is what it is, right?
Yep. Come back, be motivated, and I think they play the Giants. Kill the Giants this weekend.
Yep, kill the Giants, absolutely. The next, I guess, yeah, let's get to our best and worst of the weekend. I'll start off with my best, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but Danny Dimes going for the Colts and having 8 drives and scoring on every single one of them is absolutely nuts. Hasn't been done in like forever. I can't remember when they said it happened last, but absolutely crazy. He went out there. He got 2 rushing touchdowns, and looked awesome out there. So it's cool to see him do something. I'm super pumped too because if he does play most of the season, the Vikings get like a 4th round comp pick for him. Nice. And all they paid him like $100,000 to sit on the bench last year. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, let's go, dude. Especially when we traded Thielen, and I had to give up basically 1 pick for Thielen, so it wasn't that big of a deal at the end of the day when the whole exchange happened. But yeah, I'm super excited for that. But yeah, that was a impressive performance of Danny Dimes on Jim Irsay Day. His appreciation for the franchise owner. So that was cool. That was cool to see. My worst, we lightly touched on it, is the Chicago Bears. You started out that first 2 drives looking phenomenal. I mean, Caleb went 10 for 10, had that rushing touchdown. They looked like an unstoppable machine. And one thing that I've noticed as a Vikings fan throughout the years, over and over and over, usually when a game starts, when the defense is like this far away from getting a sack on you over and over and over, I feel like that's just the MO for the whole game, where it's like we almost had him 100 times kind of thing. And that's what I saw in that game, where I was like, he's just going to get away from everything. It's either he's going to get away just in time where he can get a pass through, or someone's going to be wide open, or if we finally do have good pass coverage, he's just going to scramble for it. Like, everything seemed to be working out for them. And then it just stopped. It stopped like a freight train or like the Vikings came in like a freight train and just like demolished them like nothing even existed. Caleb couldn't run. He couldn't throw the ball. They couldn't run the ball. Like, nothing was going on. Penalties out the wazoo. Granted, there was a couple calls that went, in the Vikings' favor that definitely I didn't think was anything. So I definitely will say that was kind of bullshit and shouldn't have happened. But that was one play, and they had I don't know how many yards and penalties they got, but it had to be almost 100 yards in penalties. It was just biting them in the ass with false starts and holdings and blah 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 blah, just stacking up. Just ugly performance by them. I'm sure they will bounce back at some point. That was one of those where, I don't know, even if it happened last year, I would have said that's just a bad team. That wasn't one of those where you're just unlucky in a moment or had one bad decision. It was a lot of bad decisions stacked up for them.
Yeah, it was. I like those. I'll start with my worst, kind of playing off your best. The Miami Dolphins. Man, they looked horrific. That's
I got to get rid of Tua.
Man, oh man. Tua had 114 yards passing. And this is including a game they're down 30-0 in. So you'd think they'd be throwing the ball a lot, and they still couldn't do it. They only had 78 yards rushing. They didn't even score a point until 3 minutes left in this game. And this is versus Indianapolis Colts. This is not versus the Philadelphia Eagles. So, man, that was horrendous. So hopefully they can improve, but man, I feel like the culture there, McDaniels is definitely on the hot seat. A lot of finger pointing and a lot of like he said, she said type of thing. So I don't like the trajectory of the Dolphins this year, that's for sure. Yeah. They might be fighting for that top pick with the Saints. The best, I got to give it up to Josh Allen and the Bills. Man, what a comeback. What a performance. That was a hell of a game. I didn't unfortunately stay up for the whole thing, but I rewatched the end the next day. I saw they were 99. The Ravens had a 99% win percentage with 5 minutes left in that game, and the Bills came back and won. I just feel like Allen's got that like put you on my back, we're gonna get this shit done type of thing. The team is galvanized around him, and the Ravens, I mean, played exceptional, but that's kind of Lamar's thing, is lose the game at the end, and that's not the way to start the season. I'm sure they're going to be pissed off going forward and turn that around. They did play really well, like I said, but got to give it up to Bills and Josh Allen for that performance.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree. Josh Allen, it was Josh Allen. He's MVP. Like that. And it couldn't go to a better guy. Like you think of just his ability in the air or on the ground. He is 1,000% reliable. Yeah, I want the ball in Josh Allen's hands, no matter the situation. He's going to be the guy. He's going to get it done. And to think, too, at some point early in his career, we didn't think that was the case at all. We thought this guy was going to be a bust. Bad call for the Bills. Like, shouldn't have got this guy. And for the last, 4 years at least, he has been the guy. He's been the man. He's been doing everything right. Turnovers aren't really an issue at all anymore. They were really bad early in his career. And it's to see him go in there and put the team on his back and get the job done and get the W, like that was super impressive. That was a crazy game. Might be game of the year already in week 1.
Yeah. Fun game, that's for sure. So good way to start a Sunday night season.
Absolutely. Yeah.
One quick, you got that stat of the day button before we move on to our picks here?
Stat of the day! Yeah.
Feels good to hear that again.
Yes, it does.
This could be best or worst, depending on how you read it. Stat of the day. This goes out to Travis. He put it in our group chat, but I want to make sure it was shouted out today. The Browns, in that second half of their performance against the Bengals this weekend, gave up a total of 7 yards. Let me repeat that. 7. And they lost. Bengals looked very sloppy. Myles Garrett, if you didn't see, literally almost had a sack on 3 consecutive plays.
Yep.
He did have sacks on back-to-back plays and almost got him a third time. Dude's an absolute freak, man. He was just throwing people around. That was fun to watch.
Yeah. Myles Garrett every year is just one of those top dogs where you're just thinking, he's got to just be the number one threat every time you see the Browns. You're just only thinking Myles Garrett and what kind of damage he's going to do in a game. And yeah, the freaking Bengals, man, still starting slow. Like I lost every fantasy league this week. I was so pissed. I'm like, I can't even count on Joe Burrow. Like Bo Nix, I get it. You had a rough game.
It was an upside down fantasy weekend.
Yeah.
You want to talk about overreaction. There's going to be a lot of people trading and selling these players. They're like,
dude,
oh, Jamar only got 4 points, or just relax. It'll be okay.
Well, I'm hoping that's the case for Tua at least, because man, I can't have both my quarterbacks and I'm starting to get a fumble and 2 picks in the same game. I'm like, come on, you guys are both trash. I lost by like 2 points. I lost by 2 points. Everyone else did great.
You and me both, Lee. Yeah, I just I needed Kelvin Russell not to drop Kelvin Ridley not to drop every ball that was thrown his way,
right.
and I would have won. But instead, he decided he wanted to put up a whole 2 points in that game.
Yeah, and even like Kittle, it's like he went and got a touchdown for me right away. I'm like, God, this is why you go get this guy. I told Taylor that. I was like, this is why you go get Kittle. This is why you trade for him. And he's on the IR. Like, I'm like, are you kidding me? You can't even. That was like the first drive. That was the first quarter, and he got a touchdown. And he's like, all right, I'm out. I'm like, what? I need 2 points, man. You get one more catch for 10 yards, you probably have it. And yeah, just nothing went my way. Brutal week. Sad. Got a lot of scrub teams that are at the top right now, and I'm pissed about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It'll all come back. Don't worry.
Yep. Freaking better. All right. Let's get into our power rankings, shall we? Yeah. Power rankings. I gotta get it up. There it is. There it is.
That's beautiful. Music to my ears.
That's one of my favorite ones. I know you like Stat of the Day. Stat of the Day actually is my favorite one. I'll take that back. Yeah, that one's the best. All right, so our power rankings we got here. Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I'll go first.
All right.
I think we will be pretty close. Maybe 1 or 2 different.
All right.
Start at the top. I'll start with number 1. For me, the Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. Not their best performance. I mentioned that earlier against the Cowboys, but even said they won a game in a weird place playing in Brazil with losing their best defensive player before the game even started. And I just feel like this team is the best roster in football. So based on that, they won the game, and where I think they're going to trend from here on out, like it's hard for me not to put them at the top. Second, my performance of the week is Buffalo Bills, so I got them in the second slot here. Love everything about this team. Cool to see Keon Coleman get a touchdown. He played well for them, so maybe he emerges as wide receiver 1. He sure looked like it after that game, decked out in ice all around his neck. So great performance for the Bills. Hell of a comeback win. I got the team they defeated right behind them, though. The Ravens should have and could have won that game, so I have them at 3. The only team on here that I have that's 0-1. I look at that roster and I ask myself, they got Derrick Henry, they got Lamar, they got Zay, who balled out last week. That defense is top 3 in the league. It's like, it's hard for me not to say they're gonna have a hell of a season. Number 4, I got the Green Bay Packers. Yeah. They play great, so got to give them their flowers. And this team looks like they have all the pieces. We'll see how consistent they can be. And then obviously when it comes time for playoffs, what does that look like for them? Can they protect the ball and advance? Last on the list, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bit of a surprise here, yeah.
All right, that one will be different.
Yeah, they didn't look as good, but I was just
that rookie
impressed. Though. Abuka, man, that was sick.
Dang, he could have been best. He could have been best of the week because that was a show, dude.
And he called this game-winning touchdown. He's like, hit me. He's like, they can't get me on the post. So he runs a post. Baker hits in between the 9, and the rest is history, man. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
So, or no, he's wearing 2 now. Is he 2 or 9? I don't know. Either way,
I don't remember.
Happy for him. I just like this team a lot. I think they have all the pieces. They didn't play their best. They're going to get Godwin back. They got Evans. They got Abuka. They got Bucky. This offense is going to be hard to stop. And the defense is always legit. So I just like them a lot. When I looked at kind of the tweeners, it was them, the Commanders. There's a few other teams that I had on that list. The Vikings could have been up there. But they just stuck out to me as one that I think can continue to stay on this list for a couple weeks.
I like that a lot. Ashamed I didn't think of the Bucs because that's a really good pick and great points that you made. But yeah, number 1, we're in a different order, but for the most part we're there. Number 1, I have the Bills. Like you said, they just look like the number 1 team to go out there and have a team put up 40 on you and you still win is absolutely bonkers to me. Granted, that just shows that defense might not quite be where it should be. However, the Ravens on paper are incredible and on the field look incredible. So that's something you got to take with a grain of salt. You can't just say, defense played bad. That was just a phenomenal team, and offense still gets it done. Number 2, I threw up here not only because of what the game meant, but for how flawless and executed and well coached and really just the man leading the team right here. And this is where we differ. I have your LA Chargers. I thought Herbert shut up all those people from that playoff hate that he got last year where he didn't look anything like himself. But especially that scramble at the end of the game to seal it, I was like, get it. Like that was nasty. And I'm like, I was, what do the kids call it? Glazing. I was glazing that guy. Taylor and I were sitting on the couch and I'm like, before that all happened, I was like, I love that guy. I was like, there was a lot of rumors before they drafted J.J. McCarthy that the Vikings were going to trade for him. Granted, it was like 0% chance that it was going to happen. But I was like, he's been my favorite quarterback since he's been in the league. Like I think he's just awesome. So I was just talking him up. And when he did that, I was like, let's go. I was so pumped for him. Like beat the Chiefs, get that whatever off your back kind of thing. That's cool to see. So I was super pumped for that. Number 3, I have the Packers. They really made a statement that game coming out early, going against a squad that has really had your number for at least the last 2 years, right? So to go out there and kind of show them who's boss, put your foot down on their neck when it needs to be done, like that was impressive. And I'm definitely not gonna shy away from giving them their flowers, even though I despise them so much. That was definitely part of in my head before the Vikings game. I'm like, great, Packers are gonna be great. We're gonna suck, and I was just pissy
in your feels.
Yeah, I was really in a bad mood, so I was yeah. We'll just move on. At number 4, I have the Eagles. As much as I really struggled with what to put these last 3 teams, I thought the Eagles were, I don't know, kind of like who we thought they were. They're a good team, solid team, had the depth kind of thing. But to kind of had your opponent written off early in the season and have it be that close of a game, I kind of just took a notch off of them, and where I don't think as highly as I do. But granted, it could be next week they dominate the Giants, and I'm like, yeah, you're back to 1. Like it's very close, top 5 here. And number 5, I had the Ravens, where it was one of those. I expect their defense to do better against Josh Allen, and not any knock against Josh Allen, but their defense has been so loaded and so deep. Like, you look at their offense, their defense is even better. So I was thinking, I'm like, you should a couple times maybe get something off of Josh Allen, like maybe someone gets a pick or something that really kind of set the tone on defense, and that just didn't really happen. So I was kind of disappointed with that. But also, like we say, week 1, you got to take it all with a grain of salt. So I
like your list a lot.
Thank you.
Chargers is a good pick. It's I'm a Herbert fan too, so excited that he started the season well. I'm always rooting for him. It's one of those teams that I just have a vested interest in. We'll cheer for if they're playing most teams. So
right, yeah, they are the Vikings of the AFC, and I think that's probably why I've always had them as like my second favorite team throughout history. But it started with LT, so I mean that
was fun years.
Yes. LT and Philip Rivers and Gaze, like that was like, wow, I love this team. So to see them kind of take like that next generation of kind of a similar setup, not tight end wise, but still it's exciting. Let's go our pick'em, shall we? I'll give an update on that. This one I think is always what gets us flagged.
You gotta pay
for your picks. Yeah, that's right. We got our pick'ems. Yeah, right. Number 1, for the first time in a while, Josh Winch at the top of the pick'ems board right now. I believe you were like 14-3 or 14-2. I mean, yeah,
might be my first time in first place since we've done it. So
yeah,
I'll take it for the week.
Right. 14-2. Trav comes in second at 13-3, and then I was 12-4. So nice. Solid, not terrible by anybody.
Pretty damn good.
Yep. So I'm happy with that. I'll see if I could find our picks, see where we differ, but maybe it's not working here. It's not. Oh well. Yeah. So that still very close race. I like that right away when we're all pretty tight. It sucks when there's like someone misses picks or something for a week, and then they're off by 6 picks or something crazy. So with that, I suppose we can get into our week 2 games right off the bat. We'll get into our picks there. We got 5 games here on the docket to talk about here. We might swap 1 or 2 out, depending on how we feel. Number 1, we're going to go with a Thursday night game that Josh here will be attending in the beautiful Lambeau Field of Green Bay, Wisconsin. The Washington Commanders take on the Green Bay Packers Thursday night, 7:15 Eastern or Central Time. So this one I think is going to be interesting. I still have the same mindset where I don't think the Commanders are going to be quite what they were last year kind of thing. But I will say I was impressed with Deebo Samuel. Still doing Deebo things this last week. Like I was like, all right, you prove that you're still him. Like
Yep.
he's a slippery devil and is still doing what he did on San Francisco with the Commanders. So that was exciting. Hopefully we get to see more of that come Thursday night. I think that it could be a high-scoring game, but
That's what I'm
I don't
thinking.
know. Yeah, it's with Green Bay's defense playing as well as they did last week. We'll see what's on the docket. I think my final score of that game, I'll take Green Bay at home. We'll go 33-31 over the Commanders.
I like that a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Fun. This should be a fun game. I expect a lot of points. I expect more of a shootout style from each side. Yes, the Packers defense is playing really well, but Jaden Daniels is a different beast to contain with his legs, so I think that'll give him fits a little bit. Bill Crosby, as I like to call him.
Is that what you're gonna call him? Yeah, I was gonna say. I don't know. I don't know that.
I don't know if that's gonna land, but
it's gonna stick. Yeah.
But no, he looked pretty good in week 1. He was a top 5 rusher in the NFL, so maybe they found something there too. If they can get balance at the running back position with Debo and Terry and obviously Jaden, I think they got a good offense that can put up points with anyone. So I like them to hang tough. Ultimately, I think Green Bay comes out on top as well. I'm going to go with 35-28.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. Next one, we'll take the. You want to do the Jags at the Bengals there?
Yeah,
noon
let's
game.
do it.
I think that would be fun. I think how the Jags played last week gives those guys a little more hope.
Yep.
That was an exciting offense for sure, to say the least.
Yeah,
and they just traded Tank Bigsby away to
That was
the Eagles,
random.
right, or something. Yeah,
they did.
Yeah,
I don't
it
know
was
why they did that. If they have a guy that they really like, I know they got that Tootin guy that they drafted for Virginia Tech in the 4th round. I'm not sure if that's the reason why, or all of a sudden they just feel a lot better about Etienne.
Etienne looked good.
Etienne, he did ball out in week 1,
Yeah.
so interesting move there. But no, I think the Bengals are going to get it done. I think in the true Bengal fashion, it won't be anything sexy early in the season here. I like them to win 27-20.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's a good score. I'll take Bengals 21-17. Bengals still got that slow start in them kind of thing where it's you expect a lot more out of them. But
Yep.
I think they still get it done at the end of the day. God, I hope so. Bye, Poor. But yeah, Tank, let's see. Yeah, Travis Etienne had 16 carries, 143 yards. So he got 8.9 yards average, plus another 13 in the air off 3 catches. So BTJ only held to 1 catch for 11 yards. I didn't realize that. That sucks.
Strange, I think it was their leading receiver, the tight end.
Yeah,
right?
Strange with 59 yards. So really not a lot of balls went in the air. It was mostly Etienne on the ground, which is pretty impressive, especially with the Panthers being like, I don't know, pretty mid, I guess. 2 interceptions by Bryce Young, but the Chuba only 57 yards, but got 32 in the air with a receiving touchdown. So it's still pretty lackluster. Definitely looked like Panthers were not quite themselves, or not what they were towards the end of last year, I should say. But yeah, the next game we'll get into here, we'll get the Eagles versus the Chiefs. That's a massive one early in the season. The Super Bowl rematch once again. Sorry, my stuff's all jacked up here. Okay, yeah. So it's in Arrowhead, Sunday at 3:25. That 3 o'clock slot there. Oh man, for how ugly the Chiefs played last week, and then I still think the Eagles are the Eagles. I got to give the Eagles the edge here on this one, even though it's in Arrowhead. Score-wise, I think this is going to be a tough one. This might be like a 27-23 kind of game, which is a 4-point difference where you think whoever is going to have the ball last is going to win, basically, at this point. It's not going to be a Mahomes not going to get a 2-minute situation probably to go down the field.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think it's going to be exciting at times, I'll say, but you're definitely not going to see just a barn burner out there.
Yeah, this one was probably the hardest pick of the week for me. I went back and forth. I think Eagles are the better team. I think they're playing better in week 1 for sure. I just have a hard time believing the Chiefs go 0-2, losing at home. I think it'd be tough to see them do that. So because of that, I'm just going to take a little bit of a lean to the Chiefs here. I think this will be a very competitive game. I like a 27-24 style game.
As I was just looking at this, I think I'm going to have an honorable mention at the end of this for last week's best. As I just was flipping through it. I'll mention it after our picks. But the next one we have, we're going to do the Falcons at the Vikings for Sunday Night Football. Kirk Cousins as a backup returns to Minnesota again. But man, this is tough. This is a tough one where I think it's like the Falcons looked pretty decent last week, especially Bijan being who we thought he was or was going to be. Played very well. Vikings, as long as the rust is officially off, I would give them the edge on this, especially at home too. This is one of those. I was in that conversation I had it with my dad when we were still down by 11 points. I said to him, don't be surprised if our first home game he throws 3 touchdowns, because I truly think with the Bears, with their hot start that they had and how loud that stadium was, like they were going down to like 2 seconds on the clock every single play. And it was like, it's too loud. Can't snap the ball. Granted, they only got 1 delay of game penalty that whole time, which was shocking because it seemed like there should have been 12 at some point. I think it's going to be perfect situation for JJ to kind of calm himself down early in that game, where as long as the Vikings make some moves early in that game, hopefully they defer. I always like when they defer and get the ball at half, but if they can shut the Falcons down for one drive and then score out another one, it might be a JJ day. Like we might see an incredible game. I think they could easily destroy this Falcons team if they want to, but we'll see. But like I said, I really think crowd noise was a massive part of how the Bears game went early in that game last week. So I'm going to give the Vikings the edge here. Like I said, 3 touchdowns by JJ would be pretty massive. I'm going to go 31-24 Vikings.
Yeah, I do think the Vikings don't have much rust to start this game. I think they'll come out firing off of the momentum from last week, the crowd being behind them, and an Atlanta defense that isn't too great. So this could be a little bit more of a shootout style game too. I do like the Vikings D though, so I think they'll win this one pretty convincingly. I got them 31-20.
Okay, I like it. I hope so, man. I just want to see them take control of a game early instead of this like late comeback or like hold them off bullshit that I see.
I think they get up 10 zip and then just kind of trade scores from there.
Okay, I can handle that. I don't love it, but I can handle it. The last game we'll do here, we're going to do Buccaneers at the Texans for a Monday night doubleheader we got here. This game starts at 6. Next game starts at 9. 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. It's going to be like...
Ain't nobody watching that one.
It's going to be midnight before this game's over. Like, come on, man.
I don't know why they do this.
Someone's got to work the next day. That's nuts. I didn't realize that. I thought there might be a little bit of overlap.
It's in Vegas, so they're just getting started there.
Ridiculous, man. Buccaneers at the Texans. Go off of your power rankings, man. These Buccaneers, they look... I think ever since Baker's got there, they've just looked fun. I think that's like the number one thing. They're a fun team to watch just because of their chemistry, I think, is there. And I think I said it ever since Baker played that one game for the Rams where he came in, Didn't have that pressure
cool
on him or anything. Played phenomenal. He was having a blast out there. He looked more like his college self, I thought. And I think that translated to the Bucs just perfectly. And ever since then, he's just been a dog, someone I'd love to watch. So it's hard to ever count them out, I think, especially in that weaker division. You kind of think that they have an edge just on almost every game that they get into, but probably mostly just their division ones. This is where they really stand out. But this one against the Texans, which I don't think really have an identity right now. The Stroud hangover is still kind of there, or slump, I should say, where he's just not quite the guy he was that first year, but maybe he just needs better people around him. I know he's had a lot of wide receiver injuries out there, and just things aren't probably his best situational wise as they could be. But I'm gonna take the Bucs here over the Texans in Houston. Let's go 26-18. An odd score there.
I was going to say some odd scoring there. I like it.
It's not a scoregami, but it is which we had one, that 41-40 had never happened before, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, that was scoregami. And the guy who runs the scoregami account on Twitter, like he talks about every single game, every score. Like chances of this score happening, blah, 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 not going to happen. And then at the final result, he's like, this is the last time that this score happened and why it's not a scoregami. Dead silent during that game. Never said anything. And like people were like, are you alive? Are you dead? Like they need a house call on him because he was like not responsive. Like, brother, where's the scoregami call he got? But yeah.
He got too excited. Had
too excited.
Slight stroke.
Yeah. Too much gas. Who you got?
Yeah, Texas didn't look very good in their opener. Put up a total of 9 points. I still think they're, to your point, I think you said it best. I don't think they have an identity of who they are, especially offensively. That makes me worried because I do think the Bucs have a good defense and they can put up points. So I do like the Buccaneers here as well. To go into Houston and come out with a W. I got them winning 28-20.
Okay, I like it. All right, before we wrap up, yes, I said I was going to give flowers to my honorable mention of Best of the Week. Aaron Rodgers balled out for the Steelers this last week, looking like his Green Bay self. That was a great game by number 12, which maybe that's the reason why he's back, got his original number, not 8 or whatever he was. But yeah, he looked good, man. It looked like this didn't need to be his final season kind of thing. So to see the Steelers kind of move ahead the way that they did and progress, get it maybe for once, granted, week 1, maybe get the right quarterback for the first time basically since Big Ben. Otherwise, it's just been plug and play. These guys who get you 500. But Aaron looks like he could get you to the playoffs at least, So that was exciting to see that side of him.
Game in general. We glanced over, but yeah, the Jets looked really good too. Fields balled out, and it was a fun, competitive back and forth style game. But yeah, Rodgers did look great. So give him his flowers. That was a great start to the season for the Steelers. Who would ever thought they would put up 35?
Yeah. Yep.
I would expected like a soccer score in that game.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you and I messaged each other on Snapchat during that game, like this is a hell of a game, and you're like, who would have thought that, or who would have said that, So yeah, that was a surprisingly good game, and that's rare. I feel like this time of the year, early when we're going back to we were talking about the bad football, the preseason football that we often get. So to get spoiled like we kind of did on week 1, I think it's pretty crazy. It's I was jacked, dude. I was jacked for week 1. As soon as I fired up Red Zone, I was like, we did it, we made it.
Something that hits different, right? Scott Hanson's voice.
Man. Yep. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the exact same line of commercial-free football, but
I didn't see much.
Exactly. I think they said that there was less than a minute of total commercials, which I don't know if that's fully accurate. But
I don't even recall seeing any. Like I might have gotten up and done something different. But
yeah,
I don't think I saw a single commercial.
I know I saw one, but they were doing
side-by-side thing.
Side-by-side box of it, and they just had the audio for the commercial at that point, and I was like, that's fine.
I'm good with that.
Yes. I thought it was more so going to be like not like take up the whole screen and do something, or like interrupt a whole bunch of stuff. But I thought it'd be just like a banner at the bottom or something that would be like, Subway, blah, 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 like something simple like that. Because I'm like, yeah, I don't really care if it's at the bottom. That's fine. It can be up there the whole fucking time. I don't care. But to see it just be as little as it was, and maybe it was just a test that they had. Like, well, let's see how angry they get, Like,
keep upping it every week.
Yes, exactly. It's like, hey, hold up a second. We had like 2 hours of commercials during this game. Yeah, so I'm glad that was a win for us at least. So I was pumped for that.
He came out and they issued a statement about it, and I was like, I'm like, there's nothing you can do.
Right.
You're the spokesperson for it.
Right. Yeah, when he went on McAfee and gave out his new like tagline and didn't say commercial-free football, we're all like, just it doesn't roll off the tongue as well and hurts. So that was that was a good way to roll it out, I guess, effective way. And with that being said, I suppose we can wrap this one up. Thanks again, Josh, for joining so we can make this thing happen. And for those listening and watching, and make sure to rate and review, share, share. I said that kind of backwards this time. But, it means a lot that you listen, and hope to see you next week. That's the last I heard.
Go Canes, baby.